Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the English news from Djibouti Channel. Here are the headlines of our edition tonight. In national news, training on skills and capacity building in the fight against violent extremism in the IGAD. On continental news, Egypt hopes to receive fifth tranche of the help from the FME. If you join us, welcome again. In the context of corporations between the National Disability Agency and ENCA, a partnership agreement was signed between director of the ENBH and director of the National Agency of the Development. This agreement is intended to assist the National Disability Agency in different fields. In this agreement, the ANC must implement all the means available to accompany the ENBH. The Associations for Fraternity, Peace and Education's held today a training workshop on skills and capacity building for the prevention and fight against violent extremism for all actors of the civil society. This workshop was held at the IGAD Center of Excellence on Prevention and Combating Violent Extremism. The sessions also saw the participation of the association and Pacific organizations, community change agents and members of educational schools communities, and the education schools of community change agency chair by Isa Muhammad and Ahmed Darsa. This association wish to inform, educate, and any being Djiboutian or not to share these values. Lieutenant General, the Chief of the General Staff of the Army Forces, Zakaria Sheikh Ibrahim, participated at the invitation of the Saudi counterpart General Fayed at the end of the joint exercise until Red Waves or Red Waves 1, which took place in Jeddah, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. In this trip, General Zakaria Sheikh Ibrahim was accompanied by a strong military delegation composed of Major General Usman Noor Subagle, as well as the Chief of the Defense Staff, Colonel Wais Omar Bakare, Commander Coast Guard of Djibouti, Colonel Wagdi Jama Musa, the head of the regiment headquarters, and the Chief of Protocol of the General Lieutenant Colonel Ahmed Tahir Jama, Commander of the Navy, as well as Commander Mohammed Qayyad and Chief of Staff, and Commander Hassan Yusuf Duale, the head of the Arab Department. Exercise entitled Red Waves, which lasted 5 days, brought together the chief of the general staff of 7 countries bordering the Red Sea, namely Djibouti, Saudi Arabia, Yemen, Sudan, as well as Egypt, Jordan, and Somalia. The Republic of Djibouti took part in the exercise with a section of 30 soldiers, including 6 officials composed for the soldier of the National Navy and the Coast Guard. The Tajura region, located in the north of the country, is one of the largest Tajura region of the country, with an area of 6,300 kilometers square, an estimated population of 86,000 inhabitants. Certainly, the decentralization of poor infrastructure has made it possible to endure the region of two major port, namely the port of Tajura and the mineral port of Kuwait, inaugurated by the head of state, His Excellency Mr. Ismail Omar Guelleh, thus marking the strong symbol of the effort of the President and his government to develop and diversify the country's economy, and that this large-scale project has allowed the Tajurian to benefit most of the job at the opening of the port of Tajura and influence the unemployment curve. As part of the activities of the State Secretariat for Youth and Sport to promote the social integrations of young people, the CDC leadership organized weekly religious preaching evening in the various community development centers. The purpose of these religious ceremonies is to orient young people towards a return to social culture and cultic source, with a view to stimulating a better social integration in adequacy with our traditional beliefs and values. We regret to announce with great sadness the death of the deceased Fatuma Ali Isa yesterday in Djibouti. The deceased was born in 1950 in the region of Obokha. She leaves behind 20 children and grandchildren, including the cartographer of deceased Mr. Said Yusuf Kamil, better known under the name of We address the condolence to the family of the deceased Fatuma Ali Isa. We pray the Almighty to grant her His mercy and to welcome into His eternal paradise. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. And now let's move on continental news. In a statement, the President of Egypt did not fail to mention the optimism of the IMF to implementation of targeted reform measures. For more detail, let's follow this report.
Hopes to receive the 5-year tranche of the $12 billion IMF loan program in January. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi says Sunday. In a statement, the presidency said the fund commended the nation for adhering to the implementation of targeted reform measures. The International Monetary Fund operated a 3-year-long program in 2016 after Egypt agreed to a reform package including devaluing the Egyptian pound, cuts to energy subsidies, and the introduction of a value-added tax. The IMF postponed a review of Egypt's economic reform program, promoting a rumor that the 5th tranche of worth $2 billion may be delayed.
Here we arrive at the end of these news editions. Thank you for watching us. Goodbye.